Just quickly before the video starts, most of the clips in this video are from other speedrunners in the community. Their links are in the description. There are an insanely large amount of clips, so if I miss anyone, please be sure to let me know. 2020 has been a year with more than its fair share of ups and downs, and especially the global COVID-19 pandemic meant that a lot more people would have a lot more time to play some Destiny 2. We started the year off in Season of Dawn with 7 raids, 2 dungeons, 17 strikes, 41 story missions, and probably some adventures. We also had the best speedrun meta the game has ever seen, with Worldline and Sword Skating combined with Icarus Dash allowing for incredible speeds. Speedrunning was arguably in the best state ever, and I for one know that it was the best time I've had playing Destiny 2. Compare that to the end of 2020. We have 3 raids, 3 dungeons, 12 strikes, 18 story missions, 3 Empire hunts, and probably less adventures. The speed meta has almost entirely changed, and predictions of the future are looking bleak, as Bungie appears to be hunting to extinction the last remnants of fun gameplay. However, I think it will be interesting to take a look back at how much we, the community, have managed to accomplish in 2020.
Fucking go! You fucking put that shit!
Let's go then! Oh my god!
Spicy Halo, motherfucker.
Let's go! Oh my god,
Let's go,
52,
baby.
dude!
Let's go, boys.
34.
35!
Get fuck!
Get in!
550! Oh.
19!
Let's
fucking dude!
12 flat, I got 12.
Everything down, I got all mine.
I missed it!
Wait! Fuck! Fuck!
Let's fucking go, dude! 27! Let's fucking go! Holy shit!
This is it? This is it? 58? Yo!
We did it! 29!
2901, that's...
Over, hit it, shoot him with shotguns.
Yes! Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah!
Yes!
Oh my god! Good shit, guys!
25! 25!
Go, dude.
20 fucking 5!
Was it?
It's actually done. It's done. Starting off strong, Season of Dawn was, in my opinion, the best time to be speedrunning Destiny 2. Worldline and Icarus Dash allowed for incredibly fast movement with a huge skill ceiling. With the DPS meta being Izanagi's Burden and GLs, it was also more skill-based, since you had to hit your precision Izanagi shots to get the highest DPS. So much happened this season, and so many world records it's hard to cover, but I'll try my best. The most important thing to note, however, is the announcement by DMG that Worldline skating would be significantly altered or removed at the season's end. This pushed players harder than ever to achieve the best times, since they had unlimited time left with the current method of speed. Looking through the raids in release order, we start with the Leviathan. To welcome in the new year on the 1st of January 2020, the Leviathan raid world record speedrun was set at 13 minutes 49 seconds by me, Claw, Granger, Flux, Ziggy, and Eva. This is almost a minute faster than the previous record because of a new 4-man gauntlet strat, which produced some interesting moments.
What?
Pretty sure that happened to do with your joining out.
What? Huh? Dub?
Wait, what happened?
What?
Did we just skip an
Wait.
answer?
I can't. No.
Encounters.
This time would again be lowered by the end of the season to 13 minutes 17 seconds by me, Claw, Granger, Eva, Ziggy, and now Soto, with yet more gauntlet strats. I'm working on a video covering all of the Leviathan raid world records and all their strats, so stay tuned for that. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Eater of Worlds remained mostly untouched through the season, as the speedrun was thought to be mostly optimized, with the record starting at 15:47 set by Majestic, Static, Blank, Adam, Purdy, and Scrunner, and in the final weeks of the season, it was beaten by 3 seconds, for a 15-minute 44-second run by Pop, Purdy, Nova, Crayons, Poots, and Cass. Spire of Stars saw some action at the start of the season, with a new timer pause rule being introduced in order to combat hardware advantages. This led to an 8-minute 45-second run by Pop, Purdy, Treasy, Crayons, Incubate, and Ghosty, which would be beaten again towards the end of the season by Ryu, Adam, Magic, Static, Antivist, and Remote, with a time of 8 minutes, 34 seconds. On to Last Wish, which saw a huge time cut from the 1915 set at the end of 2019. The time was taken down past 19 minutes, and even past 18 minutes, to a 17:51 by Granger, BJ, Claw, Naya, SK, and Boop. Surprisingly, only one strategy was different between the runs, a faster vault skip and Queen's Walk. The majority of the time save came from optimizations of 3 to 5 seconds on every transition and in every encounter that added up massively throughout the run. Scourge of the Past saw a newcomer team, Meister, Polar, Leaf, Slew, Baked, and Dax, break the record by 8 seconds with a 5-minute, 14-second run. Before the season ended, however, a sub-5-minute run was theorized, and a team of me, Claw, Granger, BJ, Naya, and Ziggy set out to achieve this feat. However, the day before the season's end, on the best-paced run, I missed the dupe. I costed the sub-5. The best completed run was 5 minutes, 5 seconds. Crown of Sorrow was the only raid to not see any action during this season, with the record staying at 9 minutes, 40 seconds. Garden of Salvation saw a 12-minute, 38-second run from Crayons, Incubate, Cass, Treasy, Purdy, and Poots as the only world record for the season. This run was despite Season of Dawn releasing with a couple of changes to the raid, which made some strategies no longer viable. Outside of raids, story missions saw a massive uptick in interest and optimization, and while I won't have time to cover every single world record, a better way to look at it is through the New Game Plus category. New Game Plus involves starting a new character and running through the Red War campaign. However, you were allowed to use any gear you wanted, from the Vault or from any other characters. This category was not new with Season of Dawn, but saw its most activity, with me, Twicemas, and a couple others competing in the category. From its first few runs, it was clear that a run of under 1 hour was possible, but achieving that would require being close to world record pace for almost every single level. On the 24th of January, I achieved this run, even setting a level world record for Hope in the run. As the season drew to a close, players worried about Worldline rushed to time lock these missions. The optimization and tied records were insane. My personal favorite of these is a 3-way tie for the mission Unbroken at 1 minute 49 seconds by me, Twicemas, and Nova, after the record going back and forth between the three of us for over 3 months. All of us had 148 in our sights, but unfortunately, it was not to be. Other notable runs include Nova's demolition of the fastest mission, Ice and Shadow, by a full 4 seconds, which is a lot when the run is only 1.5 minutes long. Strikes unfortunately saw little action this season, as the Shadowkeep patch removed Heavyweight from being selected on Nightfalls, which killed almost all of the strategies used in runs. Despite this, a team of Boop, Turtle, and Jazz set records in 7 strikes. Savathans, Exodus Crash, Insight Terminus, Will of the Thousands, Warden of Nothing, Scarlet Keep, and Festering Core, and holding all these times a couple of days before the season's end. Dungeons and special missions saw plenty of action this season, with Whisper and 0 Hour seeing improvements to the fireteam times right before the end of the season. Claw, Granger, and I set 3 minutes 21 seconds for Whisper, and Treasy, Purdy, and Poots set 5 minutes 20 seconds for 0 Hour. The solo time for Whisper was also improved to 4 minutes 51 seconds by Streak. Arguably one of the hardest speedruns, this time was absolutely insane to see under 5 minutes. Also to mention is Error's 4 minute 45 second run. However, he used a strategy that was not allowed on speedrun.com. Shattered Throne Solo, one of the hardest and most competitive solo speedruns, only saw the time lowered to 7:23, because for 90% of the season, the most important exotic used in runs, Winter's Guile, was disabled due to some bugs. This meant that, out of the runner's control, a huge amount of potential was left on the table due to not being able to run, with the 7:23 having a pretty bad entrance split of 3 minute 1 second, where the fastest were in the 2:20 to 2:30 range. This would easily push the run's possible time down below 7 minutes. But as Dawn drew to a close, what the community feared the worst would come to pass. On March 10th, 2020, Season of the Worthy released, and in the patch notes, one phrase would decimate the community. Glide can no longer be activated during sword attacks or other full-body melee attacks. instantly, all of the movement tech, time, skill, and effort that had been put into the game with Worldline and sword skating was wiped out. 3 distinct groups would emerge from this patch. Those who were done, wanted a break, or quit entirely. I fell into this category, which actually lined up well with the holiday I was taking. There were those who endured and would try to continue speedrunning, figuring out the new best movement techniques. And finally, the newcomers, who had no attachment to the way things were, and could think outside the box, creating new tech and new strats, revitalizing the runs. First thing to happen in Season of Worthy was the leaderboard split between pre- and post-Worthy patch 2.8.0 runs. After the patch, Clan Silmar set post-patch world records for Spire, Garden, Leviathan, and Crown. Unsurprisingly, all these times were significantly slower than the pre-patch times. As the season continued, people continued to speedrun, but the leaderboards went barren, and interest was an all-time low from runners. In terms of story missions, nothing would compare to the speed of Worldline, and while post-patch times were set, none compared to the past. Dungeons and special missions were barren, bar one, Pit of Heresy, where new strategies allowed for a 5-minute 26-second time, 9 seconds faster than pre-patch. Towards the end of the season, however, something incredible happened. A team of Sticker, Twilight, Triple, Panora, Slew, and Static beat the pre-patch world record for Spire of Stars with an 8-minute 29-second run. This was a team of mostly newer runners that proved that these pre-patch times were still beatable. It would just need the right team with the right strats. As the Destiny marketing machine started to pump out Season of Arrivals, players started to return to the game. A lot who quit during Worthy, myself included, found that Destiny had something that no other game could replicate. The feeling of speedrunning with a team of 5 others is just so unique, and so players started trickling back in. They picked up a few things they may have missed during the season, and started learning new movement techniques. The start of Season of Arrivals saw, among other things, the release of a new dungeon, Prophecy. Since this was the first real new content since Worldline was patched, there would be no pre-patch time looming overhead for speedruns of it. This season would also bring with it a resurgence in the speedrun community, with all raids seeing their pre-patch times beaten. However, yet again, Bungie decides to fuck with the vibe. The announcement of the Destiny Content Vault and the removal of 5 raids, among other things, was an incredibly awful decision. This, once again, pushed players to set the fastest time before it was physically impossible to play the activity anymore. Starting with the Leviathan, which saw some slow improvement, a 13:15 time set on the 1st of August by me, Claw, Naya, Soto, Ziggy, and Eva. This beat the pre-patch time by 2 seconds, but there was still some room for improvement. And with Silmar's team of Crayons, Purdy, Treasy, Pop, Tsunami, and Nova setting a 13:01, sub 13 was the clear goal. As the final levy week of the season opened its doors, a new skip strategy was found, which saved over 28 seconds. This, along with other optimizations, led to a 12-minute 23-second run by that same Silmar team. This would stand as the final record for the year. Eater of Worlds was dormant for the most part, but in the last month or two, a team of Polar, Slew, Sticker, Meister, Leaf, and me, substituting Baked, set a time of 15:39, 5 seconds faster than the pre-patch time. After an 8:22 set earlier in the season, Spire of Stars saw a tough-fought record battle between a Silmar team of Incubate, Treasy, Purdy, Crayons, Poots, and Haze, and the team of me, Panora, Sticker, Remote, Leaf, and Triple, for the elusive sub 8:20. Unfortunately, an RNG-heavy raid with long reset times, the final time for Spire was Silmar's 8:21. Last Wish saw a team of Ollie, Phantom, Rowan, Grangolf, Nova, and Tsunami run from early July right up until the end of the season, managing to beat the pre-patch time by just 1 second, with a 17:50. Scourge of the Past would finally see a sub 5-minute run, with Breeze Clan's Baked, Dax, Polar, Meister, Slew, and Senpai achieving a 4:58, only a week before the end of the season. With Scourge being the run that it is, the most RNG and reset heavy, the team ran for 5 to 6 months, having sub 5 capable strats for about 3 to 4 months, running up until the very end of the season, even looking to improve the 4:58 run. Personally, I'm glad that Scourge got to see it sub 5, even if it could have been us back in Season of Dawn if not for me being a shit can. Crown of Sorrow saw some significant improvement, with the Silmar team of Tsunami, Crayons, Pop, Rowan, Ollie and Bailey setting an 8-minute 25-second time, 15 seconds faster than pre-patch. This would be beaten by the same team that set that 8-minute 22-second Spire, Triple, Panora, Slew, Sticker, Remote, and Static, with a 9-minute 19-second time, the final time for the raid. Garden of Salvation would see a few new records between 3 different teams. Silmar's team set a 12-minute 28-second time early in the season, to be beaten by newcomer team Fools with a 12:25. The Fools team consisted of Shotzi, Cookies, Piccolo, Boogie, Monkey, and Demi. These 2 teams would battle the time down into the low 12 minutes, with sub-12 being the goal. A third team, however, would get tantalizingly close. Only a week or 2 before the season's end, Ascend achieved a 12-minute flat, with a team of Antivist, Centaur, Faldo, Shawnee, Gaffer, and X-Black. As the season closed, more attention was diverted to the newer content, and the 12 flat would be the final time for the season. Story missions saw some scattered interest from the community, higher than Season of Worthy, but nowhere near Dawn. The interest was also due to Bungie's removal of the first 3 campaigns for the game, however no New Game Plus times were set. New Game, however, had its time lowered quite significantly by 2 players, Scotty OP and Taco Fraud, taking it from 1 hour 22 minutes to 1 hour 15 minutes, with Taco Fraud holding the final record. With a lot of strikes being removed, solo and fireteam times were improved as much as they could be. One massive save on a strike was Lake of Shadows, with Error, Ember, and Alex dueling with Twicemas, Fred, Ollie, and Noonie for the fireteam record. They took it all the way down from 2:19 to 2:01, with Error's team holding the crown in the end. The solo time was also improved by Error from 2:35 to 2:29, and by me from 2:29 to 2:25. Other solo strikes were also beaten, mainly by Boop, who held 5 of the records by the end of the season. The new Prophecy dungeon saw little activity despite its new release, due to heavy RNG in the run, with the main fireteam runs coming from Granger, BJ, and AC, setting a final time of 7 minutes 38 seconds for fireteam. The solo run sits at 13:44 by Daystrix, bringing it down from 15:43 by iNathan at the beginning of the season. Pit of Heresy saw improvements to both solo and fireteam, with solo going between Cocoa Beans and Twicemas from 11:33 all the way down to 9:12 by Twicemas, with Coco not far behind at 9:19. The 9-minute barrier is still looming ahead. For fireteam, Treasy, Purdy, and Sticker brought the time down to 5 minutes 7 seconds, with sub 5 possible but unlikely to be achieved, as the run is also very RNG heavy. Solo Shattered Throne saw a ton of action during the season, with new things in the season bringing the time down past the pre-patch run of 7:23. A sub 7 was possible on an incredibly good run, with Claw and Tsunami going back and forth with times throughout the season. Claw ended up with a final time at 7:07. Season of Arrivals saw the revival of the community. One last hurrah before we said goodbye to 5 raids, 7 strikes, all the good story missions, and more. With so much gone, Season of the Hunt would have to bring a lot of content to keep things interesting. Starting with the first new raid in over a year, Deep Stone Crypt. Crypt was the only raid released in 2020, and thank God it is a good one. Crypt speedruns went back and forth for a 3-week period between a Silmar team of Crayons, Neko, Pop, Twicemas, Intubate, and Haze, with Ollie substituting, and Team Dunya, made up of Granger, BJ, AC, Drift, Soto, and I, lowering the world record from about 15 to 16 minutes, all the way down to the current record of 12:25 by Team Dunya. Garden of Salvation also saw a new world record, with a Fool's team of Shotzi, Cookies, Piccolo, Chaos, Alham, and Demi breaking the 12-minute barrier with an 11:54. Despite this, Season of Hunt already seems lacking in content. How long will it be before players begin to burn out? Only time will tell. And on that ominous note, I would like to say thank you to everyone who speedran Destiny 2 in 2020. Whether new or old, PBs or world records, the game and community wouldn't be what it is today without all of you. Thank you, and I hope everyone has a safe and happy holidays. 07 Guardians.